Barstool Rugby fans, how we doing? Dylan Saucedo here, back for another week of Seattle Seawolves Man of the Match interviews. Very excited for this week after another big win from the Seawolves in the Western Conference semifinals. A blazing match for both these sides. Another huge week for rugby all across the world. Not only are we in full swing with the MLR playoffs, but we have some youth tournaments going on around the U.S., as well as the biggest one in the world with Rugby Sevens kicking off the Olympics on Wednesday night in Paris. Very excited to watch this tournament and has been an absolute show of entertainment for the whole world of rugby. Of course, seeing the scores today in the men's competition, USA fell short to Australia, I believe 18-0 in that match. And the Aussies will be moving on to play in the two-time gold medalists in Fiji in the semifinals, with French having to go against the South Africa side on the other side of those semifinals. And the women's competition starts tomorrow. Very excited for that one as well, I believe. And I believe that should show us just as much entertainment as the men's side has this week. So very excited to see that one and see how that goes into play. Today we're going to talk to a few of our Seawolves who were a huge piece of that massive win against San Diego Legion up in Tukwila. Very excited to talk to them today. We're going to have winger Toni Pulu join us from the backs, and then our guy Hugh Taylor back on the live and to finish us off on behalf of the forward pack. So very excited to talk to those guys today and get some of their input on the season and a little bit about their rugby journey as well. Obviously, we've already heard a little bit about Hugh and what he kind of did to get here to the MLR. So very excited to talk to him today and see his thoughts on how the season's been and since we talked to him. So very excited to do that, and we're going to go ahead and start that now. Going to give them an invite to start here and see if we rugby fans. Dylan Saucedo here and very excited to join you guys. I'm up in Utah right now, headed up to the NAI Sevens this weekend. So if you guys are out there, catch me out there. And it looks like we have Toni joining us now. Looking to see if we're going to be able to get him on here. Toni, how's it going, my guy?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good to have you on, my friend. Just glad to have you on and talk some rugby today. Looking to chat a little bit about your rugby journey as well as the Seawolves season, and then how that playoff run is going for you guys. So with Barstool Rugby, our mission is to get that look of you guys as professional rugby players, what you guys do on a day-to-day basis, and how you're staying in this level of rugby, and then what we need to do to obviously get to that level of rugby as that's our goal as rugby players in the USA. So very excited to talk to you and get some of that information. If you guys don't know Toni, he's in his first season in the MLR, but has played professional rugby all over New Zealand since 2012 with the Manuku Steelers in the NPC, as well as 66 Super Rugby matches with the Chiefs, the Brumbies, and in the Western Force. This season, Toni has been lightning on the wing as he has brought plenty of experience to the Seawolves side. After gaining 158 meters and making 9 tackles on the weekend, Toni finds himself as our back of the match for today. So Toni, let's start with the season. First year in the MLR for you, obviously here in the States. With the Seawolves, obviously not your first run in some high-level rugby. Talk about the decision to come over here to the States and what has that experience been like for you this year?
When I first signed, it was for me to get over and have it was a change for me. I've been in Super Rugby for a long time, and I thought it was a great chance to get out and play some rugby elsewhere. Being in Seattle has been awesome. I've loved it, every moment of it here, and my family also enjoyed it. I'm just grateful to get an opportunity to play for the Seawolves, and and the way that they've looked after me so far, it's been awesome.
Definitely, that's great to hear. Obviously, this is a great year to be a part of this organization. 11-5 on the year, second seed in the West, and a big win to keep that playoff dream alive. Talk about the grind of the season. What's it like to still be playing Major League Rugby here in July?
It's awesome. This is what we dream of. Play finals 40, and we played well last week to advance into the Western Conference finals, and all the boys are looking forward to it, and we can't wait to play on Sunday with Dallas, who've played well this year. So.
They definitely have. No, and Dallas has been one of those great teams to watch. I guess their development over the past few years. Obviously, third year in the league this year. I think they went with no wins the first year, maybe 1 or 2 the second year, and now this year they've came on the stage. I think the third seed in the West came on, or fourth seed in the West came on and beat the SaberCats with the first seed there. A phenomenal match there as well on the other side of the bracket. But they've been doing a great job this year. What are you in the back line looking to do in this match? You guys split them 1-1 during the season. What's gonna give you guys that edge in this match to get that win?
I don't want to give any
Yeah, fair enough.
our drivers have a plan to go out there and look to move the ball, but yeah, we just got to be physical and um, hopefully we can get some tries in the weekend. But yeah, it's going to be a tough match, and we're looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Definitely finals footy, like you said, it's a different breed, right? It's a game where everything comes together. It's the everything that's been a part of the season comes together, and it's a massive match. Can't give anything away there, and got to keep everything under wraps. So I love that mindset from you there. We've seen this back line with a lot of different moving pieces, I guess, throughout the season. A lot of guys coming in, doing their job at a high level. What is the feeling to be on the field with guys who are going to do that role at a high level? What's it kind of like to play alongside those guys in these high level matches, I guess?
Yeah, like you said, I'm lucky to be around so much experience. We've got players that play international rugby, players who have played Super Rugby in South Africa, players that are coming through even in the ranks in America and also represented America. So
Oh, yeah.
for me, it's just lucky. I just have to just do my job and that's it. Like everybody does their job and everything's easy for me and on the wing. So yeah, I'm just lucky to have so much experience around me. I don't have to do much, to be honest.
Definitely. No, and with you and Connor just sitting on the wing out there, you guys are waiting for the ball, right? We want the ball. We're trying to get the ball wide, and once you get that, it's full speed ahead. Turn the turbos on and have it go. We love to see you do that. What are some of the things that you work on in order to keep that speed, keep that acceleration at a high level, and beat some of these guys on the edge?
We do a lot of speed work at training. We compete quite well. Our back three, or whoever doesn't play, we've got an excellent back three that don't play. So we compete every weekend or every week, and that's how we get better as players, is competing every training session. And like I said, we've got quality players around, and they just keep us on our toes, and we keep them on our toes. So we're just lucky to have those players around.
Definitely. No, that's a great thing, right? I think the competition aspect of the game of rugby, especially at practice and training sessions, is something that really helps us move forward in our development and improve on those areas of our game. What do you think is I guess the best piece of having that piece of competition? You kind of said like getting challenged and having that kind of thing, but what is it? What is the best piece of having those guys across from you, putting in that work against you each week at practice? How does that kind of make you guys better as a group?
The thing is, like, if you can do it against your friends at training, you'll be able to do it against the opposition during the game.
Yeah.
It's harder to do it against your friends because
Oh, yeah.
you go to training every day, you
Yeah.
live amongst them, and that's the thing you got to take in mind. If you take it easier on your teammates during the week, it's going to be harder during the game.
Yes.
It's not like that here. Everyone competes. Like you could put anybody on the wing and they'll perform. So
Yeah. And we've seen that this season, right? A lot of guys coming in and out of the lineup. The forward pack and the back line, both have had a few injuries, but also, guys coming in and doing their job at a high level. It's been great to watch. And I think, this last weekend, you guys really played 80 minutes of that Seawolf rugby that I've been talking about with the guys all year long. What were the feelings kind of coming out of that game? Obviously a big win, but we got the Dallas Jackals coming up. Kind of talked about, not trying to keep the stuff up under wraps, but what's the message, kind of the energy moving into this week?
Yeah, we celebrated our win in the weekend, but we knew we'd get over that job. We've got a tough job coming ahead.
Yes.
Dallas in the weekend, so I think just trying to celebrate the little wins and then also moving on and focusing on Dallas this week, but also focusing on ourselves and getting our bodies right for that weekend because it's going to be a tough match.
Yes, sir. No, and finals footy, like you said, it's a one of those matches you just can't take lightly, regardless of who the opponent is or who you have on your side of the field. You gotta go full speed and that full pace to some of those opportunities and just have a go where you see fit. So gonna be a great match this weekend to watch you guys. Tony, it's been great to chat about the season and the Seawolves. I want to know a little bit about your rugby journey, how you got here, what it's taken for you to get to this level of rugby. How did you find the game, and then what has made you stick with the game?
So I've been brought up in New Zealand, and rugby's quite a dominant sport in New Zealand, and I've been playing since I was young. I was born here in America, moved when I was young to New Zealand. So I played the sport since I was 6, 7. It wasn't an easy journey. I came out of school and I was a bit arrogant when I was a little bit younger. I didn't turn up to trainings and I missed opportunities that I shouldn't have, but I managed to get a second chance, and I haven't looked back on that. And I've taken every opportunity as it's come. So I'm grateful for the journey that I've been on. Grateful for the opportunities that I've been given. And yeah, I'm just like I said, I'm just grateful.
Definitely. No, and you have to be, right? I think being a professional rugby player is one of the, if not the best job in the world, right? Being able to travel the world, meet new people, play this game at a high level, and then give back to the game as well. Just by, being on the field and being one of those professional guys that guys like me can look up to, trying to make it to that professional stage. It's great to kind of hear how you guys think about the game as well as how you train and go about your, your performance as well. With some of those, challenges you talked about getting into that, that second opportunity, what would your advice be and how did you kind of get over some of those challenges at that kind of early stage in your career?
I think the younger boys, when I was younger, I didn't get picked straight away. I had the talent, but I didn't train as hard as I did. So,
Yeah.
Looking back on it, it was I think it was a great thing that what happened. The advice I'd give is I know that a lot of young boys that don't play as much as the experienced players do, just to keep training because the coaches do watch and they do see you train. You might not, it might not seem like they do, but everyone's watching. And
Oh, yeah.
if once you get that opportunity, you got to take it with both hands. And I've seen some people get that opportunity and never play again. So
Yeah.
just being ready at all times. You might not play the first 10 games, but you might play the 11th game. So you just got to take that with both hands and and just keep training hard and you never know. You could be in a position where you play every single game after that. So
Definitely. No, that's a great piece of advice right there. I love the outlook of the 10 game span where you could be, the number 24, right? Maybe the number 25, just not get in the lineup. There's guys who, have earned that spot and have that kind of spot under control. And then you get to that 11th match 10, maybe the week of practice, somebody gets hurt, somebody, gets sick, whatever. Something's going to happen and you're going to get that opportunity. There's guys on your squad who've gotten that this year, right? Guys like Devin Short, guys like, Manate coming into the squad, being brought into the squad a little bit later. And there's an opportunity for them because some guys have gotten hurt and some things have happened, right? The best part about that is taking that opportunity and at full speed, performing at your best. And I think, what you touched on there is staying ready for that opportunity and not having to get ready for the opportunity, staying in your training regimen and being ready for that when it comes to you. So that's a great piece of advice there. And I just love to hear that. What was your journey, I guess, after, through Super Rugby? You're playing Super Rugby. What are some of the things that you're thinking about as a player, trying to improve in your game, maybe trying to, stay healthy, stay kind of at the level that you're at? How do you, improve in your game at that level of rugby?
yeah, for me, like injuries have been a big problem in my career. But I've had like so many players around me that I watched or I watched growing up go through the same thing and just trying to follow what they do and what they have to do to get their body right. Like, think about it now. The advice I'd give my younger self would be to take care of my body, because that's the asset. That's the asset.
Yeah.
Which I didn't do when I was younger, because the younger we are, we could just go out there and play. We don't have to stretch or anything.
Good, man.
The older you get, you understand that all that stuff matters, and
Yes.
that's the advice I would give myself. But like, just taking notes from like other players, coaches, that's what kept me in the game for this long. So just learning, just keep learning.
Yes. I love that piece. I love that piece at all. Absolutely. Talking to guys like Coach Lather this year, right? Talking to a guy like him, he's played in 3 Rugby World Cups, been a starter, has coached at every level of rugby there is to coach at. Even a guy like that says that he has learned things about the game of rugby this year, right? He talked about being coachable, being open to hearing other people's opinions and assets of the game, right? I think that regardless of what level you're playing at, there's going to be somebody who either knows a little bit more about the game than you do, or maybe something different than you do, and then also some people who don't know as much about the game that you do, right? And so there's always an opportunity as a rugby player and as a coach to give and then to take from other guys and other people around you in the game. And so that's one of my favorite pieces, and I love that you mentioned that there. How have you been able to kind of take away and give some things to your squad this year? We've talked about having those guys around you, but what has it been like to grow with those guys and help some of those guys maybe improve on their game a little bit?
Yeah, like I said, like I'm one of the more experienced players. Like, for me, I love seeing the younger guys come through the game,
Yeah.
and flourish. Like the likes of Connor, Jeremiah Seo,
Oh yeah.
Inafuti.
Mm-hmm.
One of my goals was to get them playing as much as possible, because
There we go.
I know that they're the future of the game, and
Oh,
I'll play as much as I can, as much as my body can hold, and I try and make them ready for when the opportunity comes in. They take it with both hands and they play as well as they can.
yes.
Yeah, just seeing them flourish and play as much is one of a thrill for me.
Yes, sir. No, I love to hear that piece too, because it's not just that they're teammates of the game, right? Like, yes, they're teammates, and you live with these guys and you're around these guys all day long, but it's really that these guys are the next generation,
Yeah.
right? These are the next USA Eagles. These are the next international players that we're going to see on this world stage. That next World Cup coming up in 2031, it's going to be, or I guess the next one's not in 2031, but a couple years from now, we're going to see those guys in the world stage, and kind of what you talk about there is getting those guys these opportunities early on in their career, to make sure they're ready for those opportunities, at the high level when they come to them. Tony, it's been great to chat with you today, and I've had a phenomenal time hearing your feedback of the game. My last question for you here, you kind of already touched on it, but I wanted to hear it again. For an 18, 19, 20-year-old, maybe 21, 22-year-old, what's your advice to getting on this high-level rugby stage? What do we need to do to make that?
The biggest thing is just be a sponge. Learn as much as you can. Be coachable, like you said, and look after your body as much as you can, because it's going to take you a long way in this game.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, Tony, thank you for your time today and all the feedback. We greatly appreciate it, and it's been great to hear how you think about this game and your mental aspect of this game. High level rugby player, and we'd love to hear it. So thank you for your time and best of luck this weekend.
Cool. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Cheers.
Yes.
All right. All righty, Barstool Rugby fans. First interview of the day there with Toni Pulu, a phenomenal one at that. Got to talk about all kinds of stuff regarding the game, growing yourself in the game. There's a lot of different aspects of this game, right? There's the life aspect of the game where you're living, possibly living somewhere to play rugby. Right now, I'm living at the University of Utah, right? A little bit far away from home, but living up here to take a hold of this opportunity. With a guy like Tony, moving from the U.S. when he's a little kid to New Zealand, and then coming back here to take a hold of this opportunity. It's just great to hear how he goes about that, and how he's been able to kind of hone that in as a rugby player. So it's been great to talk to him. Going to talk to Hugh Taylor next and have him join us for the second time this season on our pod here. Hugh, how's it going,
Hey,
my
bud,
guy?
how are you? Nice to
Doing
see
very well. Great to see you as well. Been a couple weeks, obviously, so great to
you.
check in with you.
Yeah.
Just to give some of the fans, if they didn't catch you last time, he was in his first season in the MLR, but has spent 6 seasons down in Wales for the Dragons in the URC. He's made a massive impact in the pack this year and has been an absolute force on the seawall. After arriving at 21 rucks this week and making 23 tackles, which is phenomenal, Hugh. On the weekend, Hugh finds himself as our forward of the match. So Hugh, great to have you back on and to chat with you, my friend. Obviously a crazy match on the weekend and a nail biter at that. You and the boys had a phenomenal performance, and I just want to hear a little bit about that. What were the thoughts about how that game wrapped up and the win there? Moving on to the next one, what are the kind of the thoughts there?
No, I think we went in with like a clear way we wanted to play, and everyone performed. We talked about playing to your peak and being ready. We had that couple of weeks off at the end of the season, and then it was just all eyes on getting ready for San Diego then. So some big performances throughout the whole team, to be honest. I think we were saying that everyone probably played one of their best games of the season on that day. So,
Definitely.
but now it's moving on to Dallas pretty quickly, and I think that's the best thing about being part of the Seawolves is we don't hang our hats on
Yeah.
too long. Move on to the next thing. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Job's not finished, right? That's what it is. Got a dream for that shield, and we're gonna go chase it. So I'm loving the route you guys are taking to get that shield, and really excited to watch this weekend. Obviously, we talked about it. Haven't talked to you in a few weeks. The highlight of those kind of few weeks there, 11-5 finish on the regular season, a home playoff match, and then a win to go along with it, like we just talked about. What are your thoughts on how the season wrapped up? And getting into this playoff run. Talked about the win, but what were the thoughts in the end of the season there?
No, I think it's obviously the season's had a few up and downs. So we started the season very well. There was that mid to end where we had 2 losses in NOLA and Dallas, and then with quite a few injuries, but I think that's almost put us in a position now where we've had to look back at ourselves a little bit more and work a little bit harder as a team. And those lads that have got injured haven't just left the system altogether. They're still there. They're still cheering us on, wanting us to go all the way. So no, I think it's been a bit rocky, but then we picked up near the back end of the season and got a few good wins at home, which allowed us to get that home semi-final, which was crucial. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The fight of the conference. Yeah.
definitely. So it was a great finish to the year, and those ups and downs I think have made you guys hungry at this point, right? A lot of guys, coming into the squad a little bit late in the year, Manate, Devin, to name a few there, and Jackson. Some of those guys coming in late. I think that really makes the squad a little bit hungry, right, for this next couple matches, and the opportunity that's on the table for you guys right now. Talking about the feelings after this win and moving on to the next one, what are kind of the focuses for the forward pack, going into this match against Dallas? You guys split them 1-1 on the year, 1 win, 1 loss for you boys. Don't want to give too much away in this interview here, but what are you guys focusing on to go on the weekend?
No, well, obviously last time they played against us, they brought a strong maul, driving maul. So I think they scored 4 or 5 tries from their driving maul last time they played us. So we've got to negate that. Obviously, he conceded a couple as well last weekend. So we've got to make sure we get around our detail on that and negate that. But other than that, to be honest, I think we're mainly looking at ourselves. I think as long as we can control and get our scrum, our line out, and our kickoffs, our set piece right around our forward pack, I think it's going to put them under a lot of pressure. Yeah,
Definitely. No, I love to hear that outlook of it. It's the powerfulness of the squad, right? Those group moments where you have that scrum, you have those lineouts, like we got to come together and we got to make a stop here. You got to do something, right? Make a play, have a go, do whatever you need to do in order to take that opportunity at full pace. I love how you think about that and how you guys are going about that to get this win in this game. Hugh, we've obviously talked about a lot of your rugby journey and all that kind of stuff. So we don't need to reach back on that today. But my last question for you here before we start some rapid rugby questions.
Yeah.
How do you feel you've grown as a player this season? Obviously, you've played professional rugby for quite a long time. At this point in your career, how do you feel like you've grown this year?
No, I think it's been refreshing for me to come out here. Obviously, play with new players, people from all over the world, with a slightly different outlook on rugby, and with Clark, working closely with Clarky and a few Lath and Nez, all the other coaches, and Ricky as well. It's been good to develop myself. I've had to look at myself a little bit more because I've had to compete for a spot throughout the season, and it's not been easy to stay in the team, to say the least. So, and Clarky demands a high standard of us. So, we've got to be able to be playing close to our peak every week to be in that starting jersey. So, and I feel like it's taken me probably 6 or 7 games to get into my full stride, but I'm near enough there now, I think. So excited for this last 2 games to see what I can show and see what we can do as a team. Yeah.
There we go, Hugh. Well, that's great to hear, my friend. And I think the coolest part about watching you guys this year is how the team has grown and how it has combined itself, I guess. We've seen a lot of guys come in and out of the lineup, and still make it work, still have a go at the highest level of rugby, and you guys have been able to get some wins out of that. A head coach from Ireland, an assistant coach from down under in Australia, yourself from England, and some guys from South Africa, a couple Americans in the mix as well. There's a great mix of guys here on the Seawolves, and I just love to watch how your guys' rugby has come together and do that. So Hugh, it's been great to talk about your squad in the season now. Now I want to get you to some rapid rugby questions. A couple of random things about the game if you're up for it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go. So what are your game day eats? What are you eating on game day? Getting ready for the game? What's your preparation look like?
So game day, I'll wake up. I usually go for a cold shower, try and wake up, and then have granola and some fruit. Maybe have another hour break then, and then go eggs, toast, avocado, then maybe some sausages or bacon with that as well. And then I like to get out for a little bit after that, stretch the legs with the missus, and just maybe have a little coffee or something. Yeah, that's usually my morning routine, game day.
There we go. Love to hear that, Hugh. It's it changes from guy to guy, right? Some guys like to be real full before they go to the game, and some guys like to be real light. It's really cool to see how you guys kind of do that differently. My next question here: what is one game day superstition you might have? Something you got to do on game day, something that needs to happen before you go out on the field and feel good.
Well, to be honest, I don't really have one. But if I were to say I'd have one, I've got these specific type of like Under Armour boxer shorts I like wearing. So
stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's great, right? It makes you feel good. It makes you play good, and once you play good, they pay good, right? So that's great to hear how you think about that, because some guys really take into I need to do this, and this in order to feel good and play my game, and some guys feel a little bit of the opposite of like, I'm just playing rugby, right? I'm going to have a go. So great to cool to hear how you think about that. If you could change one game or one rule in the game of rugby, what would that be?
Box kicking.
Love it.
Cancel. Yeah, get rid of it. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. At the scrum half, it's really hard to get that kick off, first of all. And secondly, we could do something else with one pass and get a kick out if we really need to. So I like that idea there. Definitely some great stuff. If you could pick any number to be on your jersey, like I'm talking 1 through 100, maybe even 0 if you'd like to, what would that be?
It's a tricky one. I'd probably go for I'll go for the 6. Yeah, no, I'm happy with it. Yeah,
keeping it simple. With the flanker position, I love that. Obviously in the number 8 jersey last weekend, it was really cool to see you off the back of the scrum there, just to let you know there. So that was great. Definitely had to, right? What is your favorite winning moment in rugby? We're hoping for one in the next couple of weeks, but what is your favorite winning moment so far?
So when we won the Junior World Cup,
Beautiful.
Yeah, with England under 20s, 2016, beat Matt Mason in the semi-final as well. Which, it was a nice one.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's sweet. That's definitely a great moment, right? And we just seen the U20s come to a close. I think last Wednesday, saw the championship and then the trophy, come together as well. So two great competitions there, and it's great to hear how you remember that and one of your favorite moments. So that's great.
Yeah.
What is your who is your favorite player to watch outside of your squad in the MLR?
Some good players across the MLR. I like the 7 at Nola. I think he's a good player.
I forgot his name. I was just watching him last week.
Jonah, is it? Jonah?
Well, yeah.
I've got a couple of mates across the league as well who I enjoy watching. Tian Lutz in San Diego. Ben Fry at Dallas. Obviously I don't want him to do well this weekend, but there's definitely some good players throughout the league. But obviously mostly our guys, to be honest.
Seattle. That's great.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite player outside of the MLR? International rugby, maybe some Super Rugby, URC kind of rugby. Who's your favorite player to watch?
I think obviously DuPont is unbelievable, and how he goes about, how he plays, even going from 7s and coming back and all that is crazy.
Unreal.
A lot of respect for him. But like the past sort of 10 years, someone who I've tried to look up to is Courtney Laws. Just the way he goes about himself, just absolute grafter, and just puts in some huge hits as well. So probably go with Courtney. Yeah.
Yes, sir. No, the captain for England, obviously, a force coming off the side of the scrum. Not somebody that a scrum half would want to run into on the field. I'll tell you that for a fact. So that's great to hear how you're watching, some of those guys. Hugh, last question for you here, finishing off. What is your Bronco time? Best Bronco time ever? Maybe, one from this season. One of those times. What is that Bronco time for you?
So I think the best one I've hit is a 4:52. But I think the most recent one was 4:59 with Seattle. Yeah. So no.
There you go. Well, Hugh, it's been great to have you on today and get you back on the live. We appreciate you giving your feedback and the outlook of the game. It's been really great to hear how you think about those things at your high level of rugby. So thank you very much. Best of luck this weekend. We'll be watching you. Hopefully to get another win and move on to the final. Hoping to see you guys down in San Diego.
Yeah, legend. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
No worries.
See you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Hugh. Cheers. All righty. Well, Barstool Rugby fans, that is it for today. Thursday, Man of the Match interviews, not Wednesday this week. Very excited to talk to these guys and to get their input on just the game in general. I think, talking to these guys and really, picking apart what they think about the game and how they go about, playing at this high level of rugby is a great piece to have. If you guys are out at NAI 7s this weekend down in Utah at Salt Lake City, I'm out here. We'll be playing with the Toa Spartans in the U23 division. So if you guys are out there, hit me up. Let me know. Trying to get some content made on the weekend possibly. So real excited for the rest of the weekend. I'm actually here. I'm going to show you guys the view that I've been sitting here next to this entire time. University of Utah business campus here. Was very, very honored to sit in here and give one of my interviews for the first time here on campus. So thank you guys at the University of Utah, I guess, for having me in the business building here. Thank you guys for joining us today, and we'll see you guys throughout the rest of the week. This weekend, going to be making some content, hopefully at the NAI 7s. If you guys are out there, let me know, and we'll tap in and go ahead and catch you guys. Another big weekend rugby wrapped up here with Barstool Rugby. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.